Hey guys, I've got several requests recently to do another cloth pad tutorial. I've done a cloth pad video before, but it was a little bit quick because it was a time-lapse style. So today I'm going to do a little bit slower one for you. We're going to learn how to make a postpartum or a heavy overnight cloth pad. Let's get started. Okay, so let's start by talking about all the pieces that we need here. First, I've got a pattern. My favorite place to get patterns for pads is the Happy Hippos on Etsy. Becky Dunlap makes great pads for any size. There's fun shapes and they always work great. It'll come with a pad pattern. This one does have a seam allowance included, so you just want to make sure you check that. We're going to go ahead and use the flared core today since we're making a heavy postpartum pad. But you could also use this straight core if you wanted, or you could put that on top of here and make a stepped core if you'd like. Next, I've got a backing. This is flannel. I've already cut it out in the shape of the pad here. I'm just using black because that's what I had on hand. This is PUL for my waterproof layer. You can see it's got a shiny side and then a soft side. These are the two cores that I've already cut out. This one you can see I've already made into a stepped core. This is Zorb. This was a little scrap that I had laying around that I just sewed in the middle for a little bit of extra absorbency. And then this is a hemp cotton bamboo blend, I believe. I just cut it out in the same shape. I'm going to go ahead and do 2 layers of that with this Zorb in the middle for a nice heavy pad. Then I've got my topper material. This is hand dyed myself, but you can get lots of them already in pretty colors and stuff if you don't want to mess with that. This is a bamboo velour that I went ahead and just tie-dyed a little bit. I thought it looked kind of cool. I've already cut these out with my rotary blade and mat. So if you haven't done that step yet, go ahead and pause the video and do that now. Get everything ready to get started. I've also got Ginger scissors and pinking shears, which make it a lot easier, but pinking shears are optional. I've also got my favorite accessory over here, which is Wonder Clips. I never sew without them anymore. I'll drop a link below so you can get some of those. Let's get started. Okay, so the next step is to go ahead and trace your pattern on the wrong side of your topper fabric with a washable or air-soluble marker. Okay, right around there. As you can see, I've already done that step. And then you'll be able to line up your core. I've got it sandwiched here with the hemp, the Zorb one in the middle, and then another layer of the hemp cotton. I'm going to line it up right in the middle of my tracing there. This is the only part where I use pins because there's no waterproof layer on it yet, so we're not poking holes in anything important. But I am going to pin the core to the topper so that we can sew it on and it doesn't move on me. Okay, so the next step is to sew the core to the topper fabric. I'm going to go ahead and choose it's not a zigzag stitch, but it's kind of a wavy stitch. I'm going to increase the length a little bit and the width so that it catches all the pieces. Okay, so that core is all sewed in. Here's what the other side looks like. Okay, let's put this together. So to assemble the pad to sew it together, we're going to do your backing material face up. And then you're going to put your topper with the core sewn in face down. So you've got right sides together, okay? Now, if you have a hard time remembering which way the PUL goes, like I do sometimes, the shiny side does go down, okay? But if you're ever wondering, that shiny side needs to go towards the core so that to block any moisture that seeps through. So you can lay it on like this. So the soft side is up here, shiny side's the core. That's how you want it situated in the pad. And then you can just bring it over on top, okay? That is the right way to sew it. Core and topper, right side touching the backing, and then PUL on the bottom, right side up. Now you're going to wonder clip this all the way around. As you can see, I left a little opening here. This is going to be your turn hole. You do want to leave about 2 to 3 inches so that you can turn this pad inside out. I usually pick the straightest long piece of the pad to find that area. Okay, so the next step is to sew all of these layers together. I like to start down here right at the bottom of my turn hole. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to follow with the outside of my foot this line, the line that I traced on, kind of in between that and the line where I sewed the cord to my topper. This topper is a really stretchy fabric, so I'm going to have to lift my presser foot quite often. A walking foot would solve that problem, and I'll get one day, but not today. When you get to a corner here, I need to go out and do these wings. So just put your needle down, lift up your foot, turn the whole piece, keep going. Okay, and then when you get back to the other end of the turn hole, go ahead and back stitch. Cut that off, okay? That's what you got. Okay, the next step is you want to trim off the excess. I like to use my pinking shears, but you can just use regular scissors if you don't have those. Don't trim the excess of your turn hole. It'll make it easier to deal with when we're turning it, but do trim everything else. Don't clip any threads while you're going. So I am going to trim that up just a little bit and make it even. But you can see that little turn hole still has quite a bit of extra. Okay, now this is an important step here. You're going to want to clip each of these corners here so that when you turn them there's no puckering, okay? So what you're going to want to do is come right in here and snip as close to that thread as you can without clipping it. If you clip that thread, you're going to have a hole in your pad, so don't do that. I also just like to trim off these corners of the wings. It makes it a little bit easier to get those corners nice and tight. Okay, there we go. Now we're ready to turn it inside out. So you're going to find your turn hole, go in between the back and the topper. The easiest way to do this is to put your fingers in all the way to the front and start turning it on the top. As much work as you can do on the inside of the pad makes it easier. And then you're just going to pull it out the front. And then the bottom. If you made your hole too small, that will be very difficult. And next time you need to make it bigger. Okay, so then I'm going to take a pen in here just so I can poke out these wings. I like really sharp corners like that. Okay, there's one wing. The second wing, so you can see how nice and sharp those are. Okay, and then I just kind of roll all the edges until I get them all out. Okay, then we're going to find our turn hole again, and you're going to tuck this fabric in, that bottom fabric, and then that top fabric. You can see why we left a little bit extra. If you didn't leave enough, it's really hard to get it to stay in like that. And then I like to wonder clip that little edge so it stays while I'm top stitching. Also, then I know where it's at so I can pay extra attention and make sure it's even. So for top stitching, I'm just going to go right along the outside edge all the way around the pad. Okay, so this pad is totally done except for the little snaps on the wings. So what you need for the snaps is you need 4 backings, 2 studs, and 2 sockets. And then you're gonna need a press too. You can get this whole kit on Amazon for like 20 bucks. You can get a bunch of sockets and stuff to do several pads all in one. I'll put the link for that below for you. To find the holes where I'm gonna do this, I like to fold these up and measure them out. So with them folded up like that, this pad is going to have two hooks, okay? So I'm going to poke it through both layers. Don't poke it through the pad itself though. If you want to pre-mark these first and then poke them, you sure can. This is just faster for me, and I'm not super particular about it anyway. Okay, so those holes are there all the way through. This pad, you could even put a set of snaps here and then a set of snaps here and make it extra. You could snap it in or snap it tighter if you wanted to do that. I'm just going to do 4 today though. Working a snap press, is pretty easy. It doesn't matter which, if you do sockets or studs on the right or the left. The only thing that matters is that the other side is the opposite. Okay, so I've got my backing there, my socket there. It goes in between and press. It pinches it down like that. I'm gonna do 3 more. When you're doing the studs, make sure that they're opposite, so the topper's on the top now and the stud's on the other side. You also need to change out your clamp, unless you have 2 clamps like I do, and then just switch it over. Just a side note, I do have 2 different clamps here. Both of them I got on Amazon. This one is actually a cam. This is some random off-brand. The cam works way, way better. So that's the link I'm going to put below for you because I don't really like this one. So this one works way better. Okay, look at that. Done. Postpartum pad. That is about a 15-inch pad, so you can see it's really, really heavy. I can't get a good picture of the thickness because it's not as thick as it seems, but that's gonna be great for overnight, heavy days, or even postpartum. I do like the asymmetrical pads. That means that it's bigger on one side than the other. If you're a center bleeder, you might like it to be more symmetrical. That means the same on both sides. If you're a front beater or a black back bleeder, then you can wear it either way. But this snaps up really nice. There you go, postpartum pad. If you're making one of these because you're pregnant and expecting a baby soon, hop on over to my blog, newlittlelifeblog.com, because there's lots of information there on pregnancy, breastfeeding, postpartum, other DIY tips and tricks that you can find. www.newlittlelifeblog.com. Don't forget to subscribe because I'll be doing lots more tutorials, tips, tricks, doula stuff, and you don't want to miss out. Thanks!